Kick up to full forward. Michael's down there. Takes the mark. What a great mark by Stephen Michael.
Meekatharra is one of our key programs. Certainly from the start, we really wanted to have an impact on the community, but it was important to understand what the community needed and how we could play a role in supporting that need of the community. So one of the key things we identified was to get local engagement, but also to appoint some local staff to help us drive our programs. And for us, we've been grateful and thankful that we've managed to uncover some great staff who are now supporting us with our programs up there.
Last 2 years I've been really interested in mental health and the effects that it has on young people in remote communities. I think some of the biggest issues we have is trauma, and there's a lot of different layers, I suppose, to the trauma that some of our young people are facing, and being vicarious trauma, trauma that they've experienced themselves, which come from alcohol abuse, drug abuse, domestic violence, and intergenerational trauma as well. I was working at the youth centre at the time, and I heard that that the Steve Michael Foundation was interested in coming up, and grew up watching the legend play. I thought, well, and then when I started to find out what the foundation was actually going to be doing up here, I think it really sort of cemented that that's what we need, or that sort of holistic approach, I suppose, with not only doing football and the sporting activities, but having people there that are willing to work with the kids on all levels, I suppose. Having young people from town employed by the foundation is allowing our youngest generation to look up and to develop role models in the next generation up. It's also helping them being able to find their voice.
Yeah, I've been living in Meeka my whole life. It was pretty good growing up until I got to about high school. Then all the kids around my age left to go to boarding school. Yeah, it was pretty tough being the only high schooler. After high school, I didn't really know what to do until Gumby approached me with the Steve Michael job, and yeah, I was glad to take it. I've managed the programs and helped run the school program at the school with Wes. Yeah, just as I was leaving school, I knew these kids already, and I think to come back and help them was like really good for them, to show that they can get to places, and yeah.
Starting with the Stephen Michael Foundation, I can see Raymond has matured a lot since getting a job. He's gone from being a school kid to being a young man. A company come in and actually employ local, a local young fella who may not have had a chance to get a job otherwise. It just adds to the economy of our town, and even to my household. Raymond's now got the opportunity to help us as well as himself.
I'm an education assistant at the school, and I also work as a program officer for the Stephen Michael Foundation. So that's on a Monday, Thursday and Friday. I do football clinics for all kids in the school. So they got a bit of structure because there's not much, or they've never really experienced much structure.
Do I put my thumb like this or like this?
Like this.
I lived here for 6 years, and then I moved to Geraldton for 12 years, and I've moved back here after school just because I wanted to help the kids out and get a good relationship with all the kids. Done a few footy trips, so the kids play half-time games at, I think it was Eagles and Gold Coast. I think we took about 20 kids, and they really enjoyed that because not many people get to experience that sort of stuff. They're all a bit nervous, but they ended up loving it. I think we're starting up a leadership program, which the kids will really benefit off. I think because it brings like a role model that the kids really need in this town. They need a role model, or a few of them, so they all look up to us and the foundation.
Look, I think it's been 3 years now, and initially it was put to me that the Stephen Michael Foundation was looking at running programs in the community, and I fully supported it straight off. I mean, I know Stephen, played football against him, and you know, a better role model you wouldn't find. And the fact that the foundation was looking at setting up programs in this region was just marvellous. Other foundations and other groups have come in and you know, wanted to be involved and tried to be involved. Not that they've continued, and that's been the difference, I think. Continuity of programs, of visits, of the visual impact of the foundation with their shirts, the visual impact of having Stephen Michael be in this town, where the community and particularly the students see. I mean, they're too young to know what he did on the sports field, but their parents, and particularly their grandparents, revere the man, and so that information is shared with the children. And in sport, you know, there's nothing better than having someone promoting the game, but also promoting programs that are meaningful.
Long kick up the full forward. Michael's down there. Takes the mark. What a great mark by Stephen Michael.